Hi there, this is Chris, Chaplain at Cat Motor Legends. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had some inquiries from people into the phone room saying they might be taking up commuting on a motorbike after the lockdown because they wanted to avoid public transport. Could we recommend a suit that they could wear? And a couple of these people said, we've got a budget of around £1,000. So we did that review. We put together a number of items that came in at around £1,000. Then we had people contacting us saying, well, actually, I've got a bit more to spend. How about doing a £1,500 suit? We did that. Now, the last time we did that, I said that the next time we recorded a similar review, we would be looking at a suit at £2,000. And in fact, I lied. I didn't lie on purpose, but having looked at it, when you go from £1,500 to £2,000, across 5 items, that doesn't seem to increase the budget a lot. You don't get anything that is markedly different. So what we've done, we've jumped from the £1,500. This time round, we're going to do a suit at £2,500, £2,500. That starts putting us into some rarefied territory. So now let's go over, let's start looking at what you can buy if you're prepared to spend £2,500 on a motorcycle outfit. So as I've suggested, we were today going to look at a suit for £2,000, but instead we've decided to push the ceiling up a little bit. We're going to be looking at what you can get for £2,500. Now, £2,500 really does put us in a different ballpark. For that kind of money, you get a very serious suit, a very serious outfit that you can do proper commuting in. So if you're someone commuting 12,000, 15,000, even 20,000 miles a year, this is the kind of suit that will be perfectly up to that kind of job. It's a suit that you can ride in all seasons, or rather we're going to be looking for a suit you can ride in all seasons and in all conditions. I have to say there's still another level above that, and in the next review we do, we're going to be looking at that next level, but we are very much at £2,500, we are very much in premium territory. That puts us in rucker land. So we're going to be looking at rucker. We may look at some other suits, but we are certainly up in, or rucker is in the frame. And we are definitely talking about, at this kind of mileage, at this kind of price, we are definitely talking about a laminate suit. Now, in terms of the exercise, we've allocated, across the £2,500, there are 4 main components. We've allocated £1,500 for the suit, in other words, the jacket and the connecting pants. We've allocated £400 for the helmet, £400 for the boots, and £200 for the gloves. So let's go over, let's see what we can do for £2,500. So as I've already suggested, £2,500 as our budget puts us into rucker territory, and in some ways it does, albeit only just. Now, there are only 2 suits that we really rate these days, and we're recording this in 2020. There are 2 suits that we really rate in the rucker range. One is the top of the range Nivala. That is the most comfortable laminate suit you'll ever wear, but it's way out of our price territory. The other suit is the bottom of the range rucker, the entry-level suit. It's this one, the Calyx 2. It is a fantastic suit. Now, it is not to be confused, however, with the original Calyx, what we now call the Calyx 1. It was only called the Calyx when it came out. But that was a 3-layer laminate. It was very stiff and uncomfortable. This is a 2-layer laminate, so it's much more comfortable to wear, much easier, molds around the body, just much nicer. The other thing is that the original Calyx had absolutely no venting on it, so in the summer it was simply unbearable. This suit, by contrast, is as well vented as anything in the rucker range, with the exception of some of the off-road suits. But technically this is better vented than the top of the range Nivala. You've got the shoulder vents here, you've got the full height vents up the flanks here, and you've got an exhaust vent on the back, which you do not get on the Nivala. Now, when Rucker bought this suit out, they then did another thing that made it particularly outstanding. They lowered the price over the Calyx 1. So you were getting more, you were getting a nicer suit, you were getting extra venting, and you were getting a lower price, which we think makes this a fantastic proposition. However, because you're paying less, you are going to be missing some of the bells and whistles. You just have to accept that. Although what we're going to have to do is put some of those back into the package, because we are going to need those if this is going to be a suit that you commute in. The first is a back protector. Nothing unusual in that. There are lots of suits that don't come with a back protector, but we're going to want to put a back protector in this suit. You have to unfortunately buy a rucker one, because rucker back protectors are fitted in a particular way. There's a hole here, there's a strap with Velcro on it, and it suspends there. Technically, this back protector comes in a level 2 or level 1 format, but I have to tell you that even though it's on the Finnish website as available, you've not been able to buy a level 1 for several years. Not a big deal in our view. It's probably only a few quid difference, and we would always want you to have a level 2. There was never a great difference in the feel of them. One of the things that you're missing from this suit that you find on a number of rucker suits is the GTX cuffs. That's a double cuff system. Not many brands use it, but it's a nice touch. Not necessary, but it's nice to have. Stops the rain coming up the sleeve, stops the rain going down the sleeve into the glove. Another thing that you're not going to find on an outfit like this or on this particular outfit is a neck collar. Again, a nice thing to have. It means that when rain comes down the helmet and tries to get into the jacket, the neck collar catches it, and obviously it keeps your neck and throat warm if you're riding on a cold day. But you can overcome that by buying something that is aftermarket. The main thing that's missing from this, and we'll come back and talk about it later, however, is that this suit has no thermal lining. So Rucker's view, I think their thinking was twofold. One is a lot of people have their own thermal. A lot of people have got electric these days, so some people don't want to buy another thermal lining, which they just take out and put in the cupboard. So they didn't supply it for that reason. But secondly, of course, as they're bringing the budget down, they had to make some savings somewhere, and not having a thermal liner was one way of doing that. So this suit, in the form it's in, top and bottom, comes in at £1,100. We're not suggesting that's cheap, although it is certainly an entry price point for Rucker. The nearest suit with which we think we can compare it is the £900 Walkir and Wish 2-layer laminate suit from Halvarsons. Now, given the £200 price difference, I think most people are going to plump for the Rucker for a couple of reasons. Walkir and Wish is a fantastic combination, but it's not Gore-Tex. It's Halvarsons' own dry-way membrane, works really well, but Gore-Tex is a premium membrane, and to pay a little bit more for Gore-Tex, most people would think that that is worthwhile. The other thing is that with the Rucker you get a 6-year warranty. With the Walkir Wish from Halvarsons you get a 2-year warranty. Now, if you're going to be commuting serious miles in a suit like this, the chances are at some point you're going to need the warranty. So the extra peace of mind that you get from having a 6-year warranty as opposed to a 2-year warranty, we think that's easily worth the extra couple of £100. Now, let's just backtrack a little bit, because in some ways I have cheated, I admit, because the £200 difference is not really a £200 difference, because the Walkir and Wish comes with a world-class thermal lining. Their lining, it's a standalone jacket with a set of removable pants made with Outlast and Innerborn. So that really distorts the cost a wee bit. So saying there's a £200 difference, it's really not that. It would be a £300 or £400 difference. But if we're going forward with this suit, we need to put some kind of thermal lining in it. Now, the best and the one that we're going to recommend is the Rucker X-Down jacket and potentially the pants that are fitted into the Rucker Nivala. Now, when the Rucker Nivala first came out, it broke the trend, as it were, because until then, every Rucker suit had had a zip-in, button-in top and bottom. But the X-Down was worn loose. It was a duck-down liner, incredibly warm, incredibly comfortable, but you didn't zip it in. You just kept it in the pannier, and then on a day when it was cold, you put the jacket on, and then you put the Rucker jacket, the Nivala jacket, over the top. That set of base layers, mid layers, whatever you want to call them, are available separately. They are fantastic. They go down to no volume once you put the jacket on, but they are incredibly warm. And basically it is this. So this is the jacket. It can also be worn as a sleeveless top, as a gilet, and there's a way of hiding the sleeves. But with this combination, with the X-Down in this jacket, it's going to be as warm as anything you're ever going to ride in. So that is certainly the way we would go, and we budgeted for this. It will still come in under our overall budget. So if you want the jacket, that's going to be £190. If you want the pants as well to go in the bottom half, that's going to be an extra £130. Now, if you didn't want to go for the duck down base layer, then there's a way of saving a bit of money. You could go for something like the Halvarsons wool long merino layer, because I'm not sure that you need the duvet lining for the bottom half. It tends to be our upper half and our core that gets really cold, so that's where we really want the maximum. I think at times the duvet style duck down pants are a little bit over the top, but that's up to you. We'll come back and talk about the budget for that. So let's look at this overall. What are we going to get within the package? So if we put in the back protector, that's £80, the D3O level 2 back protector. And if we put the mid layer in, just in the jacket for now, that brings the total budget to £1,370. So when we did this exercise with a budget of £1,500, we were finding it difficult to come up with a boot at the price point we wanted. In the first £1,000 outfit, we'd found a great boot for £160. We then wanted a boot at about £250 for the £1,500 outfit, and we couldn't find anything. We ended up eventually with the TCXX Tour. It was a discounted boot that had been £260, discounted to £199, I think it was, and that came on budget. Ideally, for this exercise, for the £2,500 outfit, we would have found a boot at £350, but we could not find anything at that price point. Maybe there's a gap in the market somewhere, but we could not find a boot at that price point that we really rated for this kind of exercise. So what we've ended up with is a Daytona boot. No hardship in that, because we love Daytonas. They are not the cheapest, but in our view and in the view of many long distance motorcyclists, they are just the best boot. What do you get with the Daytona? Well, you get the best quality, super supple, hydrophobic leather. Hydrophobic means that it expels water, and that's done in the tanning process. So the real waterproofing comes from a Gore-Tex lining, but when you combine that with a hydrophobic leather, you get something that is incredibly waterproof. The fit is generous, fits a lot of people. You get things like the double zips, you get all the protectors, you get an extension panel here that helps articulation, but you've got counters in the toe, heel, ankles and so on. You get a steel shank in the sole. Again, there are boots out there that have very strong soles, but as far as I don't know of another motorcycle boot that has a metal shank in the sole. It makes this boot incredibly tough. If something does ride over you, nothing's guaranteed, but you're going to be as protected in this boot as you are in any motorcycle boot. But one of the things that really distinguishes a Daytona from any other boot on the market is the fact that you basically get repairs for life. So we have customers who have been riding these boots for 10 years or more. What happens is you wear the sole out, you bring it in, we send it off. Daytona will repair any element of the boot. They'll put in a new liner, they'll repair the zips, they'll put a new gear change pad on. There's just one thing you need to be mindful of. You need to keep the leather fairly well treated, because if it cracks and dries out, they will not put a new sole on the boot because they cannot guarantee the waterproofing. So the boot that we have chosen for this exercise is the classic Roadstar. It's not the top boot in the range, but it's the boot that works for everybody on every bike, on any bike in any condition. It is a perfect boot for the commuter or the guy who's doing a bit of touring. It is priced at £410, which we're not suggesting is inexpensive, but if you were to then take the view that this is a boot that you might well be wearing in 10 years' time, that's £40 a month. We don't think that's a big deal. So this is the third, as I've mentioned, in our series of videos about commuting outfits. We started off with a £1,000 outfit, then £1,500. Today we're doing £2,500. In that very first video, we recommended a Shark Evo ES. It's a modular helmet, because if this is going to be an outfit you're going to commute in, we just like flip lids. They are more flexible. In the £1,500 outfit, unfortunately, we couldn't recommend the helmet that we would have liked to, which would have been the C3 Basic, the Schubert C3 Basic, because that's on its way out and it won't be around for long. So we ended up with a full face. But now that we're back up to the £2,500 figure, we can afford a really good flip lid. Now, why do we like flip lids for commuting? There are a couple of reasons. One is, if you're commuting, say down the motorway and then you hit town, when it's really hot in the summer, a flip lid is a great way of just getting air in. So they are more flexible. No one's going to recommend that you ride at speed with the lid flipped up, but it's a great way of getting fresh air in. If you then want to ask directions and so on, obviously you can do that in a flip lid as well. One of the main benefits of a flip lid, however, is a flip lid, or rather a good quality flip lid, is quieter than a full face helmet, and there's a particular reason for that. We put on a flip lid in a slightly different way. The sides are flexible. So to put it on, we pull it apart, we drop it down over a head, and then the neck roll, the sides bounce back and fit very tightly around the neck to create a very tight seal. So, for example, this is my size of helmet. In a full face helmet, I could just slip it on, but I would never get my head in there because this neck roll is too tight. So the tighter the neck roll, or when a neck roll is really tight, it means that air can't get in, and air reaching the ears is basically translated as noise. So by having this tighter neck roll, which you could only get this tight on a flip lid, you have a quieter helmet. And that's really important, obviously, if you are commuting, because if you're going to spend an hour on the bike each way, you're going to damage your ears. So the quieter the helmet, the better. Obviously, we're still going to recommend that on a long commute you wear earplugs, but earplugs combined with a quiet helmet, and you've got the ultimate solution. Now, we haven't yet reached the money, no object level, so we're still managing the budget a wee bit. So we've ended up with this helmet. This is the Schubert C3 Pro. It's been around a while. It will be within a couple of years discontinued. A new helmet came in a couple of years ago, the C4. That was then updated to become the C4 Pro, which is a great helmet. We may well look at that in our next review. But some people still prefer the C3 Pro. It's been around for a long while. It's very proven. It's been massively popular with the police over the years. It's comfortable. It's still one of the quietest helmets on the market. Technically, I think the quietest helmet on the market now is the C4 Basic, not the C4 Basic, not the C4 Pro, but the C4 Basic. But this is second or third. So it's a very quiet helmet. It's well vented. It's got a drop-down sun visor. It'll take great center comms if you want to fit comms to it. It's a fantastic helmet. One thing that you need to be aware of is if you're going to go for this helmet, it fits a little bit differently. Certainly if you've had a Shoei or an Arai, this is a rounder fit. A Shoei and an Arai tend to be oval in shape. This is a bit rounder, so it won't work on everybody. It works particularly well on me. I love Shoeis, but I can't fit a Shoei. My head is too wide here, so I end up normally in a Schubert. So we have no hesitation in recommending this as a helmet within the budget for this particular outfit. It is still one of the very best commuting and touring helmets on the market. It comes in at £400 in white. If you go for the other colours, it's a bit more expensive, but £400 was the budget we sent, and for that, this is an amazing lid. So hopefully we've established the fact that for £2,500, you buy a very serious commuting suit for doing serious commuting, for doing big miles in all weathers. Now, when looking at the gloves, it's inconceivable, as far as I'm concerned, that the person who is prepared to spend that kind of money is going to make do with just one pair of gloves. And I think that person is ultimately going to end up with 2, probably 3 pairs of gloves. They're going to end up with a proper winter glove if they're commuting November, December, January. They're going to end up with a lightweight summer glove for when it's really hot in July and August. And then they will end up with a 2-3 season glove, a summer waterproof glove, which they're going to wear from April until maybe July, and then again from maybe September through to November. But for this particular exercise, we have decided that we want to find one glove, and the one glove that's going to give us the greatest flexibility is indeed a summer waterproof glove. Now, I'm particularly nesh, I'm not particularly tough, I get very cold hands, but a summer waterproof glove I can wear from about April to maybe the beginning of November. If you've got heated grips on the bike, it's conceivable that you can go a little bit deeper into the winter, but certainly a summer waterproof glove gives you a 2-3 season coverage that you're not going to get from a winter glove or a summer glove. Now, in terms of this exercise, we've got a fair amount of money available. We've looked at a number of gloves. The Klim Adventure glove, this glove is an amazing glove, super comfortable to wear, laminated, Gore-Tex, all the bits and bobs you need. I think it's got quite a short cuff, so when you're commuting, you want a cuff that's long enough to go underneath the sleeve of the jacket so you can cinch it in, stop water coming up the sleeve, and I think that the cuff on the Klim glove is a little bit too short. Another glove that we looked at, but I'm maybe going to reserve this for the next review, the next video, the Stadler Guard glove is a fantastic glove. We'll come back to that. We've ended up with 2 Rucker gloves, and it's very difficult to make a decision about them. This glove is the Virium. It's one of our favourite gloves. It's been around for ages. It's super comfortable. People swear by this glove. It is amazingly comfortable, very, very waterproof. It is a brilliant glove. But, and I don't know whether we've been swayed, we shouldn't have been swayed, but we might have been swayed by the fact that the glove that we've actually chosen is called the Calyx glove. Now, it does the same job as the Virium glove. It's a summer waterproof glove. It might be deemed a better glove in one respect, particularly, and that it's an all leather glove. This is actually not quite a vegan glove. I've gathered there's about 3% of leather in it, but that's a textile glove. This is an all leather glove, or rather it's mostly leather. So it's going to be a little bit of a stronger glove. It's got all the same kind of bits and bobs. It's Gore-Tex laminated. It's got lots of protectors, some bits of textile for comfort, reflectors, vents, a palm slider. It's an amazing glove, and I think it complements this outfit very well. It is not inexpensive, of course, because it's a Rucker. It's £210, but that still enables us to come in more or less on budget. So hopefully what we've established is that for £2,500, you can buy a pretty stonking outfit. It's not, I have to say, the ultimate in motorcycle wear. We're going to cover that in our next video, where we're going to push the limit even higher. But for £2,500, you get a pretty goddamn good outfit. Now, in terms of the items we've chosen, you can't really go wrong with the Rucker Calyx 2. Yes, it has some of the bells and whistles missing, but if it didn't, it wouldn't come in on our budget. But what we've done, we've added in the bits that we felt were really important. But what you get is a Gore-Tex laminated outfit. You get a 6-year warranty, and for the price that comes in at, we think it's pretty good. In terms of the helmet, we've gone for the C3 Pro. Now, we couldn't afford the C4 Pro, which is technically these days one level above that, although there are many people who still think that the C3 Pro is better. It's a very trusted helmet. It's proven. It's been around for a long while. As I mentioned already, the police use it. It's comfortable. It's quiet. It takes great center comms. It is a fantastic lid. Boots, we went for Daytona. Again, I don't know if I'm using this phrase too much today, but you can't go wrong with a pair of Daytonas. They are not inexpensive, but whereas, as I've mentioned, you might get 3 or 4 years out of a standard pair of boots, people who buy Daytonas will often get 10 years out of them, and they just become better and better, more comfortable, more slipper-like, but they do everything. They keep you dry, they're protective, and so on. Gloves, we looked at the Klim gloves, we looked at the Stadler gloves. We didn't really look at the Stadler gloves, but we countenanced them. We came down, I think, to 2 gloves, and in truth, we could still go either way. One was the Rucker Virium, and the other glove was the Rucker Calyx. Perhaps we were swayed by the fact that we thought it would be nice to match the Calyx glove with the Calyx suit. Perhaps that shouldn't have affected us, because the Virium is still a fantastic glove. In the margin, I suppose the Calyx is a better glove. It's more leather, it's more protective, it is a wee bit more expensive. The total that we've ended up with is $2,520, which I don't think is bad. Now, there are ways in which we could bring that figure down. First, obviously, if you went for the slightly cheaper glove, that's £170 as opposed to $210, so you'll be saving £40 there. You could also go for the Halvarsons winter merino base layer for the leggings. That would also save you some money. So if you're looking to shave the budget a wee bit, that's fine, but $2,520 buys you all of the things that we have discussed. So I hope you liked our selection of what you can get if you're prepared to spend $2.5 grand on a commuting outfit. If you'd like to see more gear, commuting gear, whatever, then visit the website motorlegends.com. If you'd like to see this particular outfit, look at the availability, check out the spec in a wee bit more detail, and who knows, if you're really taken with one of the pieces, actually order one there and then. Then if you click on one of the links on the screen, sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're down there, that will take you to a special section that we put together on the website. Now, when you buy from us, we try to make the process as simple, straightforward and risk-free as we possibly can. There's no delivery on any protected wear you buy from us. Returns are totally free, and what's more, we give you a full 12 months in which to decide whether you do want to return something to us. We have absolutely the best price guarantee in the business. Now, John Lewis is rightly famed for its never knowingly undersold price promise. We go one stage better. If you can find a competitor selling anything that we sell at a price that is lower than ours, we will beat that retailer's price by a full 10%. If the retailer is in the EU and not in the UK, we will match their landed price. Now, there are a few terms and conditions, nothing particularly onerous, but if you are going to price beat us, I suggest you visit the website and check out what those terms and conditions are. Now, if in the future you'd like to receive bulletins from us about new products, then if you go to the website, at the top of every page, there's a little piece of script that says newsletter sign up. Click on there. Within seconds, you'll be in business. In future, you'll receive bulletins from us. If, however, you prefer to get your information from us videographically, that is to say in this form, then we would be simply delighted if you want to become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the button below. Now, this is 2020, and before the end of the year, we're going to be giving away a motorbike to one of our YouTube subscribers. It's a fantastic little machine. We're calling it a Steve McQueen tribute bike. It's based on a Mutt 125cc machine. You can read all about it on the front page of our website or on the home page of our YouTube channel. Finally, I'd like to make a play for our fabulous little shop here. We're based about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the railway station. The shop, as I've intimated, is not huge, but it's attached to our warehouse where over 3 floors we have more than £2 million worth of merchandise. Technically, it makes this place the second largest motorcycle apparel shop in the UK. But we think that we are far more than just the amount of merchandise we have here in the building. We're all about service, we're all about personal fitting. If you want to check us out, visit Trustpilot. We have the highest 5-star ranking in the business. When you come and see us, we'll sit down, we'll talk about your requirements, we'll serve you only the finest illy Italian coffee, or we'll serve you proper Yorkshire tea in a proper teapot. Anyway, this has been Chris. I hope to talk to you again soon.